Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Abigail.
And I'm Jenny.
And the theme of this TED Talk is the inability to fulfill character development through the Marxist critical tenets evident in the film Titanic by James Cameron and the novel The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald.
So what is Marxist critical theory? Marxist critical theory analyzes class struggles, politics, and economics within a written work as well as the author's societal position and institutions that contribute to their literary work. The tenet that we'll be focusing on primarily in this talk is hegemony, which is the controlling of one class over another. The class struggle between a higher class and lower class, more specifically the bourgeoisie over the proletariat. The bourgeoisie are the people who control the means of production. They are wealthy and benefit from the labor of the proletariat, who are the lower class. They are the poor, the labor force, and depend on the bourgeoisie for pay, also known as currency. Currency is a system of pay in general use. Within our two analyzed works, money is a currency that creates hegemony between the two classes. Within Marxist critical theory, there are three main topics: class struggle, economics, and politics. Class struggle is demonstrated by the tension between the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. Economics is money, the driving force behind society. And politics is demonstrated by the fact that the bourgeoisie are in power, while the proletariat have no power. The three principles within Marxist critical theory are economic determinism, dialectical materialism, and again, class struggle, which is a very prominent issue in this theory. Economic determinism states that economics is the foundation for all other institutions in society. Dialectical materialism is political and historical events that result from the conflict of social forces caused by materialism. We will now use these Marxist critical tenets to analyze the film Titanic by James Cameron and the novel The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The first work we will be analyzing is James Cameron's Titanic. In the film Titanic, the Marxist critical tenet of hegemony is present between the wealthy first class and the poor third class, as they struggle to coexist on an ill-fated ship. In short summary, the Titanic is a movie following the lower-class passenger named Jack Dawson on his journey to love Rose DeWitt Bucator. The two face struggles with both sides not condoning their relationship, just because of monetary differences. The two fight through their problems, but in the end, Rose's class status helps her to live, and Jack's disadvantage leads to death. Jack Dawson is our proletariat in this film, and this is evident because he is in the lower class, while Rose, his counterpart, is in the upper class. Jack is constantly put down and riddled with stereotypes. He is not able to interact with those of first class. He's not even able to talk to those of first class, which creates the class struggle when he tries to become friends with Rose. Jack meets Rose as she is about to throw herself off the back of the ship, and that is what begins their relationship. The movie progresses through the struggles and trials as Rose's family does not want to allow her to see Jack, and Jack is not able to see Rose because his status is not good enough for the first class. In the end, though, Rose and Jack end up together for a short time before Rose's class allows her to survive the sinking, and Jack's class does not because of the hegemony present. Jack struggles throughout the whole movie with the class struggle as he just pushes and pushes to be with the first class. He even dresses up in a tux and goes to a dinner with Rose's family. There, Cal, Rose's fiance, sees him and goes, "Dawson, you almost look like a gentleman." In a way, this is a compliment to him, but this is also a not so nice saying. He is complimenting Jack, but in the way also saying to him he doesn't look as nice because he is from the third class. No matter what Jack does, he is constantly stuck in this struggle of class. In the end, this leads to his demise as he is stuck with being with Rose, and he wants to do everything he can to live up to her class. And this leads to his downfall because Rose has a way off the ship and Jack does not, because his class will always bring him down. And Jack will always be focused on trying to get to the first class because that's where Rose is and that's what he wants. And with that on his mind, he will never fully develop because it will always be holding him back. Rose is also never fully able to develop because she is always held back by her class. She's first class, and while money seems like it's everything, it actually traps her and keeps her as a prisoner. Rose is stuck in a forced marriage with Cal, and she's not able to be with who she really wants to. In the end, Rose actually escapes her class by pretending to be dead to the rest of her family, and she's able to move on and the moviegoer can assume that Rose develops because at the end of the movie, a lot of pictures and memories are shown that she was able to go out and do what she wanted, and she developed the way that she wanted to without having the constant class distinction. The Marxist critical tenet of hegemony is present in the struggle between the first and third class passengers of the Titanic, and this drives the struggle between Jack and Rose's love for each other. This struggle does not allow Jack or Rose to develop either as individuals or in a relationship together, and this causes the driving issue between the two classes.
Our second work is the novel The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. In The Great Gatsby, there's an obvious difference between classes, especially between East Egg and West Egg. East Egg is full of old money families or people who were born into wealthy families. West Egg is also full of people who are wealthy, but they were not born into wealthy families, so they had to climb the social ladder in order to gain their wealth. And although they worked hard to gain their wealth, they're still considered to be in a lower class compared to the people in East Egg. Hegemony, like we said earlier, is the controlling of one class over another, and is obviously present between West Egg and East Egg. And this class difference is evident in the characters of Jay Gatsby and Daisy Buchanan. Daisy resides in East Egg, so she is an old money family, whereas Gatsby resides in West Egg, so he is wealthy, but he was not born into money like Daisy. Although Gatsby has money, he doesn't have power in the community like Daisy's family does and like the people in East Egg do. So Gatsby and Daisy are in love, but because of their class differences, they're unable to pursue a relationship. Gatsby is not considered equal to Daisy because he was not born into money. So this quote exemplifies that tenet of hegemony. And as I sat there brooding on the old unknown world, I thought of Gatsby's wonder when he first picked out the green light at the end of Daisy's dock. He had come a long way to this blue lawn, and his dream must have seemed so close that he could hardly fail to grasp it. He did not know that it was already behind him, somewhere back in that vast obscurity beyond the city, where the dark fields of the Republic rolled on under the night. Gatsby believed in the green light, the orgastic future that year by year recedes before us. It eluded us then, but that's no matter. Tomorrow we will run faster, stretch out our arms farther, and one fine morning, so we beat on, boats against the current, borne ceaselessly and back into the past. So in this quote, Gatsby is shown to be constantly chasing this green light. So he wants to prove throughout the novel that he is worthy of loving Daisy. He shows this through his lavish parties and his constant effort to prove his wealth. And him chasing this green light represents his constant effort to prove this. And the green light almost seems kind of mystical and something that he will never be able to reach, which is true considering his class and his lack of being born into a wealthy family. So the novel ends with Gatsby unable to be with Daisy. Although they were in love earlier in the novel, he was unable to reach his full potential as a character because of his class. So Gatsby's ultimate downfall is a result of his denial that he will never be considered equal to those old money families. And if Gatsby had been able to overcome the hegemony present in his society and realize this, he may have been able to develop more fully as a character.
So what is the purpose of all this analysis? Why do we read books and watch movies in the first place? We hope to get something out of them. We hope to be in some way changed or transformed by them. And moving forward into the next phases of our life, we should be taking a little bit of something from everything we've experienced. The transformative power of literature is a big topic to broach, but that is because in the end, it means something different to everyone.
Within The Great Gatsby and Titanic, these characters idolize money and status in hopes that they will be happy and satisfied. They'll get the girl, have a fun life, and be the best versions of themselves. But in pursuit of this, they lose their ability to transform into their full character, and this leads to their eventual downfall. We are able to look at this selective sight set on money and use this in our path forward. Soon, we will be setting up our own career paths, and many people choose jobs based around money. This can lead people to not be happy in their own lives and not develop into their best selves. This transformative power of literature should lead us to make more informed decisions on our future and help us to not focus on just money and class. As we have seen from these works, money may physically equal power, but it does not lead to a better life.
In my limited experience as a high school student and as a kid, I always wanted to be rich when I got older. As a kid, I wasn't the poorest in my friend group, but I wasn't the richest. So I had to grow up with people having cooler clothes than me, having cooler vacations, having cooler toys and possessions, and that always made me have the will and the drive to be rich when I grew up. So when I was younger, I would always watch Grey's Anatomy with my mom. And of course my first thought was, I'm going to be a surgeon one day. I'm going to be really rich one day and my life's going to be perfect. Just like in the show. Like, they live great lives, they have a lot of family, they have a lot of friends, and just everything's perfect. As I grew up and I got into high school and I started actually understanding college and med school, I realized that surgery is not that easy. You give up a lot of time with friends and family, work becomes everything to you, and it's not as perfect as a TV show makes it seem. So this pursuit of money that I always had in my head was not the picture perfect life I thought it would always be. And so going into college now, I have shifted my career path to still a prestigious doctor who makes a decent amount of money, but it gives me more time to do the things that I want. And it helps me to develop as a person instead of just going with money. Because I realized that, yes, if I was a surgeon, like I always wanted to be, then I would have the money, but I wouldn't get to spend it and use it like I wanted because I'd always be at work. So I wouldn't get the time with friends I wanted, I wouldn't get the time with family I wanted, and it just wouldn't be the same as what I had always thought as a kid. And this goes hand in hand with our two analysis of Titanic and Gatsby, because the constant struggle between classes and with money led them to their eventual downfall. And by realizing that, being a surgeon that makes a lot of money is not as important as being a doctor that has a lot of friends and family, it's helped me to realize that one day I'm going to develop more in the social and personal aspect versus the monetary aspect. And it means a lot more than just going for money.
So this is a quote from Titanic that we think really embodies the mindset that we should have going into our adult lives. So Jack says, "Well, yes ma'am, I do. I mean, I've got everything I need right here with me. I got air in my lungs, a few blank sheets of paper. I mean, I love waking up in the morning, not knowing what's going to happen, or who I'm going to meet, where I'm going to wind up. Just the other night, I was asleep under a bridge, and now here I am on the grandest ship in the world, having champagne with you fine people. I figure life's a gift, and I don't intend on wasting it. You don't know what hand you're going to get dealt next. You learn to take life as it comes at you, to make each day count."
Jack understands that money isn't everything and that he doesn't have to be wealthy to be happy. And that should be an attitude that we should all have going into our adult lives and college and thinking about our future careers and picking out a job. In the Titanic and the Great Gatsby, Jack and Gatsby are both brought down by the hegemony present in their two societies.
Both characters are unable to reach the same societal position as their lovers.
This struggle to reach the same societal position as their lovers brings down their eventual downfall, as all they focus on is money and status.
Thanks for watching!